a software stack for refnx using miniconda. The tutorial is going to be on macOS, but there'll be similar kinds of processes involved for Windows or Linux. To start off with, I'm using miniconda because it's a fairly easy way to set up Python environments within macOS or on any OS. And an environment means that things are basically different environments are independent, so they don't interact with each other. So I'm going to go to the miniconda page. I've just searched for miniconda. I then want to download the miniconda macOS X 64-bit bash script, which I've actually already done previous to this. This bash script needs to be run in a terminal window. So I've opened up a terminal window, and you can open up a terminal window using Spotlight. Just search for terminal, and then it will come up with one of these windows. And then go to change directory, that's CD, to the downloads directory. If I type ls, it'll say what files and directories are in downloads. You can see here that we've got the miniconda latest macOS x86 64-bit script. Now then, to run that, you type bash miniconda 3 latest macOS x86_64. This all appeared quickly because I used tab completion, so I'm going to press return there. Oh, I should have added .sh on the end, so execute this. It then says, in order to continue installation, we need to review the license agreement, so you press enter and read this. It's always a good idea to read license conditions. Then when we get to the end of reading the license terms, you have to answer yes or no to accept or reject. I'm going to type yes. It then asks me where do I want to install miniconda. I want to install it in my home directory, which is users Andrew, and it's going to create a miniconda 3 directory, so I'm going to press enter there. It will then go on to install miniconda. Now, if you've already got miniconda installed on your machine, you don't need to go through these steps, and we will go through setting up an environment in a minute. So you can skip these preceding steps. You only need to install miniconda if it's not on your machine. Unpacking stuff. So it's preparing to install all these packages and put them in this location. Then it says, do you wish the installer to initialize miniconda 3 by running conda init? I want it to, yes. So now it's installed miniconda. It says for changes to take effect, close and reopen your current shell. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a new terminal window by pressing Command T. So it's opened up a new terminal now. I'm still in the downloads directory. I can get rid of this previous one. And then what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is create a new conda environment. So to do that, you type conda create for create new environment. Then -n tells the conda what the name of the environment you want to create is. I'm going to call my environment dev3. So it's going to create my conda environment, call it dev3, and in it I want to install Python 3.8. Once you're happy with that, you press enter, and it figures out what it has to install into that environment to create it. I want to proceed, yes. So it's going to install all these into that default environment. Has to download them first. It's unpacking them. Now, in order to activate this environment, it says use conda activate dev3. So I'm going to type that in now, conda activate dev3. And what you'll see is that this base at the front of in front of your terminal prompt will change to dev3. And that will tell you that you're currently working in your dev3 environment. To deactivate your environment, you type conda deactivate. I'll go back to base. So let's reactivate it in the dev3 environment. Now what we want to do is install refnx. So I'm going to do this with the pip package manager. Pip install refnx, and I want to get all the goodies that are possible goodies that are involved with the refnx. So I'm going to use the square brackets with this. Square brackets all. If you didn't, you could also just do this and you get like a base install of refnx. So I'm going to install all the optional extras. And it will go off and grab all of those, download, and then install. So it's grabbed refnx, it's grabbed numpy, scipy, pyqt5, pymc3, h5py, and so on. And so it's collecting all these dependencies and now is installing them. It takes a small bit of time to do that because that's a large amount of megabytes that it's got to download. So pyqt5 was 40 megabytes. Etc. So there's a large number of things it's got to put in place. And it's done that. So now that they're all installed, what we should be able to do is say, let's try starting Python up. And let's try importing refnx to see if it's there. When you import something, it's got to compile all the Python code. So it's imported, so we know it's installed. I'm going to exit this Python prompt, and I'm going to try starting up the refnx GUI by typing refnx just at the macOS prompt. So let's type refnx, and we should see the refnx GUI start up after a while. It takes a while for it to, the initial startup in a new environment can take a little bit of time because it's got to Python compile lots of stuff. You can see here that we were running Python 3.8.12. It was packaged by CondaForge. Okay, so look, here we have the refnx GUI, so that works, and it really should be relatively straightforward. I'm not sure what can go really all that wrong. There might be a possibility that you try, if you've already installed miniconda, and try and overwrite it with a miniconda install. You might run into issues there, but to get around that, I think you can just, there's a way of running the bash script with I think another option -U to overwrite miniconda. But that should basically be all that you need to do to get refnx up and running on macOS with miniconda.